Hello viewers, how are you? Today I am going to present you the facts about the group of world's richest club of countries which is known as G7. Why G7 is said to be the richest club of the world? We will know in this video, so please watch the video till the end. Without wasting any more time, let's begin the video. G7, the group of 7, is an informal group of world's 7 largest and most advanced economies along with the European Union. It includes the United States of America, Japan, Germany, the United Kingdom, France, Italy, Canada, and European Union. At present, G7 member countries hold about 50% of the global net wealth and about 32% of the global gross domestic product. Total land area of G7 country is about 15% of the whole world, and combined population of G7 countries is about 10% of the entire world's population. For the viewers who has not subscribed this channel till now, please pause the video and first subscribe the channel. It will boost me to bring more and more videos of such type, and also press the bell icon for not to miss the notification of latest video release on this channel. Let's move forward. Organizational setup of G7. Like G20, the G7 is also not an international organization. It is an informal forum. It does not have its own administrative structure. G7 is not having its headquarters. G7 does not have any official logo. Due to G7's informal structure, the rotating annual presidency plays a particular central role. The country that holds the annual presidency organizes that year's summit and sets the agenda. Origin of G7 and its expansion during the course of time. The concept of a forum for the world's major industrialized countries emerged before 1973 oil crisis. The initial meeting of what would become G7 began in 1973, included only 4 countries: the United States, the United Kingdom, West Germany, and France. Japan accepted an invitation to join soon after, and Italy was added in time for the first formal meeting of heads of the state of G6 held on 15 to 17 November 1975 in France. The group has expanded once again in 1976 and Canada joins the group. The second summit was held on 27 to 28 June 1976 in Puerto Rico, territory of the United States. Since then, the annual summits of the group held regularly where the state head meets and discuss the global issues. During the period of 1998 to 2014, the group was known as G8, the group of 8. The 8th member was Russia, but Russia was suspended following its annexation of Ukraine's Crimea region, and in 2017 Russia itself permanently left the G8 and the group is renamed as G7. Membership of G7 nations in other world forums. 3 of the G7 members, the United States, the United Kingdom, and France, are the permanent members of United Nations Security Council. The rest of the 2 permanent members of UNSC are China and Russia. Except Japan, rest of the members of G7 are the members of military alliance NATO. All of the G7 countries are members of the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development (OECD) and G20. The 2 of the members of G7, the United States and Japan, are also the part of Quad Alliance along with another 2 members, India and Australia. Present leadership of G7 countries. The President of the United States, Joe Biden. The Prime Minister of United Kingdom, Boris Johnson. President of France, Emmanuel Macron. German Chancellor, Olaf Scholz. Olaf Scholz is also a G7 president for this year. Japan's Prime Minister, Fumio Kishida. Canadian Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau. Italian Prime Minister, Mario Draghi. European Council's President, Charles Michel. Ursula von der Leyen, the President of European Commission. If we analyze the individual population and GDP of G7 countries, we will come to know that population and GDP of United States is the largest amongst the G7 nations. If we compare the charts, we will find that the population of United States is around 43% of the entire G7 group, while its GDP is more than GDP of all other 6 nations of G7 in combined. While the population of Canada is lowest amongst all G7 nations, and the GDP of Italy is lowest amongst all G7 nations. If we analyze the data and population of GDP of entire G7 during the last 50 years, we will find that the population growth of G7 during the last half century is almost minimal, which is just more than 33% during the long period of 50 years. While during the same period of time, GDP growth is in multiple fold. During the period of last 50 years, GDP has increased 17.42 times, while in terms of percentage, it is 1742%, which is very significant. If we divide the GDP by population, the per capita GDP of G7 is increased significant during the last 50 years. Hence, G7 is called the club of super rich nations or the richest club of the world. Agenda of G7 summits. The G7 summit provides a forum for member countries to discuss shared values and concerns. While it initially focused on international economic policies, but during 1980s, the G7 extended it to include issues related to foreign policy and security as well. But in the recent years, G7 leaders have met also to formulate common responses to challenges including counter-terrorism, development, education, health, human rights, and climate change. At present, Germany is holding the presidency of G7. The upcoming summit of 2022, which will be the 48th annual summit of G7, is going to be held very shortly from now on 26 to 28 June 2022 in Germany. Besides the member countries and European Union, 5 other nations have also been invited to this upcoming summit. The name of these countries are Argentina, India, our own country, Indonesia, Senegal, and South Africa. Thank you for watching the video. If you like the content of the video, please like and share the video. Please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon for notification updates. Thanks once again. We will meet soon with another interesting video. Jai Hind.